Welcome to another MJ Hobby Corner game. MJ Hobby Corner here. And here is my game of Horizon Wars Infinite Dark all set up. Okay, so this is my very first time playing this game. I'm just learning the rules. Okay, so this will be what I call a training game. Essentially, a game where I'm just plowing through the rules and trying to learn as many of the rules as possible. So we will probably see more games in this Horizon Wars universe. All right, this is a game by Robey Jenkins, and again, we're gonna try my luck. We are playing solo today, so we're using these solo rules. Okay, now I'm going to do basically the way I do my battle reports is I usually give some kind of turn summary. I don't do every single thing that happens in a turn, but since this is a brand new game, I will put in all of the examples, of the main rules. For example, movement. So I will record as I'm moving my ships and then decide where to kind of cut the turn a little bit, and do what I call turn summaries, okay? And then towards the end of the game, I usually film like the full turns, everything that's going on. All right, and that's just to cut some time and cut some editing time for myself. All right, this scenario is called Mercy Flight, and this is the first solo mission, okay? And let's take a look at the board. Okay, so this thing here is my Stargate, and it's just drifting in space here on this corner. These are my ships, and we'll go over them in just a second. And here's my friendly ship, which has a speed of 0, and it is stranded. It's damaged, it's stranded, and we have come here to rescue it, okay? And here on this side of the board is one of the enemies. Okay, and I've already deployed it just to make it easy for me. Generally, when it's their turn, we'll start flipping cards, and those cards will tell me exactly how the enemy is going to behave. The color of the card, the number on the card, and the suit will all contribute to construct the AI for my opponent, okay? And that's in a solo game. I do have some asteroids, which the scenario does not call for, and I'm not using any terrain rules in this game. I want to make this as simple as possible so that I can learn the major rules, right? The core rules, the core mechanics. So, but I do have some asteroids to give me a little bit of cover and make it a little bit interesting. They do not move, they're just terrain. They just stand there and look pretty. All right, let's go through these ships. All right, so I'm going to have the first move. I can move all my ships. And so there's a little yellow marker on the base there, a little triangle. And I'm going to give him a, first of all, course change, a heading change. I want to turn them 30 degrees. But before that, let's do our activation rolls, just like in Horizon Wars, Combined Arms. All right, so he is Mass 2. His current speed is 3, and so that makes it a 5, and so the target number is 5. And I get 3 dice I'm sorry, 2 dice because he's mass 2. So actually, yeah, he's target number 5, mass 2. So I'm using 2 dice and I need 5s. And you get to add all your dice together. So I have a 10 and a 9. So a 10 is right there is 2 actions, 2 successes, and a 9 is 1. So that's 3 successes altogether. So I'll put my template here, and first I'm going to make the turn 30 degrees as best I could, line up that little yellow arrow as best I could. Okay, and now that dice does not move because it's pointing this way, despite the fact that my ship wants to go this way. Well, that's the thing about the mechanic in this game. It's very, very interesting. All measurements are going to be done from the middle of the ship, that is the stem, not from the base. So I'm going to go first and foremost, do my 3 inches. And I think this is the only actions I'm going to give it. So I already spent an action to turn. A key aspect to this game is that ships will not always travel in the direction they are pointing. It is recommended that you get either an 8-sided dice or 10-sided dice for each ship to use as a heading indicator. In the little diagrams, as you can see, the ship actually goes in the direction of the 10-sided dice. That was its previous pointing direction instead of the actual direction that it is pointing. So the ship travels, it's kind of like a drift, really, and it gives you a sense of the vacuum of space. So it's a good mechanic. Okay, I deployed the enemy with this 10 of clubs, and that means that the bogey performs a maneuver and then an attack. Now the 10, any number from 2 to 10, when you flip the card, is a light vessel that deploys. So those fighters there are light fighters, okay? And so that's why he deployed. Okay, so now let's see what else he does. And he can maneuver and then attack. Now, bogeys do not roll for maneuvering like we do. They perform 2 maneuvers automatically. All right, and the card was black, so that means that he has to turn away from the last vessel that has activated, the closest vessel that has activated, enemy vessel that is. There is none, so I can choose its heading. So first things first is going to perform a maneuver, and I think I'm going to turn him. Now, these are a little trickier. Okay, there's that little triangle. Okay, so I'm going to, first of all, give him a speed increase because the number was a 10, and that's way greater than the current speed of the ship. And if you're wondering how they started with that speed, it's just their M value, their M stat. That's the sort of the default. And the scenarios usually will tell you like where the ships deploy and all that stuff. All right, so his speed increased. He is now going to do a maneuver. All right, and now he's just going to go in the direction. And he probably should have done the correction first and then drifted the 4. So that's something that I got to remember. I kind of flipped that, but I'm still learning. All right, so he's going to go there right near the gate. But he's going to go this way. That's the way that it's pointing. A little bit that way. All right. And now the heading and the ship can adjust. And that's it. He has now activated. This card is on the discard pile now. All right. So it's the enemy's turn. We're going to flip another card and see what happens. Ooh, king. Okay, and the king is a medium ship result. All right, and so the ship has deployed, and there is a way to deploy it. It's like an imaginary grid. Talk about that in a future video or at the end of this video. But this ship has deployed here, and it has moved, and now its heading is aligned with the direction of the vessel that it's moving, and that's it. That's the end of that guy's turn. and that's all he could do. He could not attack or anything. So, all right, and we have 9 black, and that is a light ship. So let's put on a light ship. All right, and that's the end of the enemy turn. I'm only deploying 3 enemy ships. The other one is on reserve, and I still have my mech and my Viper fighter that are in reserve as well. So I can bring them in this turn if I have room to maneuver here, which I think I do. All right, so let's do this. All right, I'm going to speed things up a little bit. I will see you in the turn summary. I'm just going to get these guys moved and probably deploy one of my guys, the mech, because I need that mech to start hauling that ship. Okay, an interesting turn. It is now the end of turn 2. We're going on turn 3. Again, I'm speeding things up a little bit. Once we start getting engaged in combat, I'll film again so you can see how the combat works. But basically, I had one ship here, had 2 actions, 2 successes on its die rolls, so I managed to change its course correction, and then it drifted a little bit towards the table edge, and I got a little nervous because I thought, you know, in this game you can actually fly yourself right out of a table edge, and that's it. That's the end of that fighter. So yeah, but he's okay. X-Wing moved forward a bit, didn't do any course corrections or anything like that. And then that one over there, I sped him up. He had 4 actions. I only used 2. I sped him up and then moved him. Didn't do any heading adjustments. So yeah, he's heading right towards that ship there, and he's now on speed 5. So he's increasing his speed a bit. All right, let's see what the enemy's doing. Okay, my mech did deploy, can deploy within 6 inches of the friendly Stargate. And so he's here. He's going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering there to avoid collision. So that's the guy I got to keep alive. If he dies, that's it. Game over. All right, just like if that ship dies. However, it looks like the bogies are a little confused right now, so I have some time. All right, going now to turn 3, and I'm going to start my moves. Okay, and for the time being, I have the cards associated that were flipped associated with the enemy. This medium ship performed a maneuver. It's a red card, so it's towards me. The maneuver, the ship will adjust its heading or whatever in my direction. It is a 3, which was less than its speed, so it's actually going to reduce its speed by 1. Okay, so that should be a 4, not a 5. And then the suit here, the diamonds, tells me that it's going to do a maneuver and attack. However, it gains the advantage when it does the attack. Okay, now there is a ship in line of sight and within that 90-degree cone, one of my ships. All right, so it's going to attack me. Its fight is 2, but it's going to attack me with 3 dice. Okay, and then we can see how combat works. So it's the same thing as Horizon Wars Combined Arm. So I'm going to check the range and add the range. He's going to add my armor stat to his range, and that's the target number. Let's do that now. Okay, so he is range 12 to me. So, and my armor is 2, so adding that to the 12 is 14. That is the target number he needs. He has 3 dice because he has fight 2 and then plus 1 dice for the advantage, which he has over me. So, let's roll these 3 dice and see how many 14s I get, if any. Okay, so I have an 8, an 11. Oh yeah, he definitely has hits. All right. Okay, so he has 1 success so far. I'll roll my defense on 2 dice because I have defense 2 and see what numbers I can cancel out. I have to get exactly the same number. All right, so a 9, and no, there's no 9 here. Okay, and a 2, so no, I didn't cancel that out. I get 1 shield damage. You get 2 shields. So 1 shield damage. I'm going to see. Okay. And there it is. 1 shield damage. Okay, and just a quick thing before I start turn 4. I had to use some power from some of my ships. You'll notice the power markers here. This matches a ship that I have here. And what happens, I went from power 2 to power 1. And from power 2 to power 1, and what that does, it gives me an extra dice so that I can increase my chances of successes. As their speed increases, and I have to add my M stat to it, which in this case is a 3, my target number is also going to increase. It's going to be harder to get the actions that I need to control the ship. So I had to use a power in order to kind of, and help me out to get the actions I needed. So power is a very cool resource, but you have to use it very, very wisely. Now I'm going to be able, with this turn, to recover power as long as I get enough bonus actions. All right, a lot has happened in turn 4. This is where things are really picking up. So let me just document this. My side has already finished its turn. It's going to be the enemy's turn next. We're going to see what they do. But my injured fighter here took a shot and did a whopping 4 hits to the enemy. The enemy rolled a defense, did not cancel any dice. 4 hits went through. Now, he already had a shield damage, so that destroyed his shield and gave him 2 hull. If he gets 2 more points of damage to that hull, he is done. All right. My guy was also able to get the advantage against him. All right. So that took away the minus that he would have had if he would have shot, if he didn't get enough actions. And I was forced to shoot. Being at a disadvantage against the enemy, I would have -1. My mech is moving here, and it's going to be very, very tricky. I'm going to have to move these ships, maneuver them out of the way so this mech can dock with. All right, well, the enemy went. And I flipped a jack for him. That means that I have to activate the nearest medium vessel, which was this one. And he repaired 1 hull damage. So, it goes because he flipped an odd number. He repaired hull damage. That's what I gave him. And other than shield, if he would have flipped an even number, he would have repaired a shield. So, in any case, he got to repair part of his system. This guy here, he actually did a course correction. He did a maneuver and then kind of drifted a little bit with his speed, also increased his speed from 2 to 3. This guy did an all-out attack on mine, did 1 shield damage, and he had like a 14-inch range plus my armor of 2. That's 16 for the target number. He actually got 1 hit. And they only have 2 dice to attack. So then his heading matches it the way he is pointing. This guy, same thing. Did an all-out attack, but he missed. And so he took a maneuver action, which now, next time he moves, he's going to be drifting a little bit. His heading is not the same as the direction he is pointing, but that is that. So all my guys have taken some damage, except for him and the mech. So turn 5, we'll see what happens. I usually play only 6 turns. I'm going to continue playing a little bit, and then if I end the game early, obviously it's going to be a defeat for me. So I'm going to try and see if I can get that tug on that ship. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tow it. We'll see. Okay, and to document this for turn 5, I got first blood. Yes, this guy here, who's still a little bit injured, fired, got 3 hits to go through. He had the advantage over him and destroyed him. So he only had 2 hull points left, even though he repaired 1. That's 3 hull points, went right through the hull. He has no shields, so he is done. Okay, so nothing else major happened in turn 5 other than the destruction of the enemy ship. So let's move on to turn 6, and this is the end of the Blue Fleet player phase. Okay, so turn 6, player phase. All right, it's the end of my turn on turn 6. I moved all my ships, so let's just go over the stuff. What happened? My X-Wing here fired on this ship, took down another shield, and then it moved forward. Its heading and direction are adjusted, so it's fine. So I took out a shield from him. And then here are, so there was one of the results for these combats. The defense is the enemy here, so no defense here, and that's how I did the damage to the shield. All right, so this one here, now here I did something a little more creative. He moved forward, he fired, and took down a shield from the enemy, and then what happened was I used one of my ancillaries. An ancillary is like a special ability, the hacking ancillary. So with that action, I had to roll the dice to see how many hacking actions I got. I got 2. So I managed to lower his shields again, taking out his shields. So now all he has is hull points. And I also got to change his direction by 30 degrees. Okay, so that's the effects of hacking. So very important, my mech has docked. I had to do a special maneuver with one of my bonus actions in order to flip him around. So he would be in this direction with the heading. The problem with that special action is that his engines are completely shut off after he does that flip. And so now I need an extra action to turn his engines back on and get him to speed 1 so he can start pushing that thing back. Now, the problem is that on this turn, because he's docked, the enemy is going to have free range fire on the big ship. So, yeah, that's going to stink. All right, well, it's their turn. Let's see. And I think he's going to be the threat because he's the closest figure to him. And he will probably attack him because that's the closest figure. And he will probably attack him. Well, I don't know. I'll have to measure between these two. So we'll see. All right, enemy next. Let's get turn 6 going. Okay, let's do this attack. It's the enemy's attack, so I just want to document this for the turn. That enemy way in the back there, his arc of fire, that's the closest ship to his arc of fire. Sorry guys, just to explain my rationale here. So the enemy fighter, this little Cobra fighter you see there in the far right, it's nowhere near the arc of fire of the enemy. So instead of stopping the enemy from shooting, I then went to the second opponent who was in its arc of fire, despite the fact that that opponent was farther than this Cobra fighter. So I took into account both arc of fire and distance of ships. He got a spade result, which means a black spade, which means all-out attack. All right, so first things first, we're going to do an all-out attack, which means he gets 2 attacks on the X-Wing. So let's check the range first and foremost. From middle of ship to middle of ship, and that's 17. All right, so it's a long shot. So 17 on 2 dice. So we'll see if he gets it. If he gets 1 hit. All right, so I'm rolling. A 2 and a 2. Yes. I'm just trying to get it so that we can show the dice. This is a 4, so that's a miss. I'm going to roll another attack on 2 black dice. And the black dice is a 4 and a 1. Down. The card is less than the speed he is traveling, so he's going to be slowing down by 1. And it's a black card, so he's going to be turning away from me again. All right, well, my camera's running out of steam, so let's see if I can summarize this and then do the last bogey. My ship is destroyed. That bogey there was a little bit further up here. He fired. Not only that, but he gained the advantage according to the card. It was a red diamonds, ace of red diamonds, and so he fired. He had the advantage. He did 2 shots, and if you remember, I had no shields and 2 hull points already destroyed. He had 1 more hull point, and with 2 shots, it was enough to take away that last hull point and do damage over the mass plus power. So, okay, let's get this mech moving. This is now turn 7. Turn 6 is over. Beginning of turn 7. My mech has 3 dice. And let's see what happens. Alright, so I need 3s because his speed is 0. So I'm just using his M stat of 3. And actually that's 2 successes there as well. And 2 successes there, so 4. Alright, 4 successes, so 4 actions. Now let's see, I may not need to use all of those actions. Let's see. Alright, so first things first, he's going to need 1 action to turn those engines back up and get them onto speed 1. So 1 action, he has 3 left, and he's going to go to 1. Now, I'm not going to move him yet, actually. Got to wait till the end. So, alright, so heading is good. He's on speed 1, so what I'm going to do, try to do a maneuver. See, no, that's not going to do good either. All right, so I'm going to increase his speed to 2. And that's another action. So for the 3rd action, I guess that's it. I'm just going to move him 2 inches and begin to tow him. So just move this guy first. Heading and direction of ship is good, so that's going to be there. And he is docked right where that 2nd flight stand is. That's where the measurement is. All right, so he pushed him just a little bit, inching him forward as his engine started. All right, let's go to the next. Let me just mark him as done. Let's see how many actions I can give him. First and foremost, he's going to take 3 dice. He's M3. So, and let's see, he's on speed 5. So he needs 8s. A 12, a 5, and a 6. Okay, so that Viper gets 3 actions. I'm rounding up. And let's see what I can do here. So first action, he's going to maneuver. All right. So he maneuvered. He turned 30 degrees. Now that dice is in a different direction, so he's gonna move. He's gonna drift a little bit this way. Hopefully not into the asteroid. Next action is I'm going to spend an action to get the advantage on him. And now, with his last action, his 3rd action, he's gonna fire. So let's do the range. I have advantage, so that's an extra dice for me, giving me 4 dice instead of 3. Take the range. Range is 2s, 11. So that's a 13 because his armor's 2. So, and I'm adding that to get the target number. All right, so 13 on 4 dice. Ooh. Nice shot. A 7, a 5, a 10, and a 12. All right. All right, so 3 hits rounding up. So he takes his defense dice. Hopefully he has an 11 here. No cancel. Oh, he cancels my 5. So that takes it down to 2 hits. All right. So he canceled my 5. So only a 7, a 10, and a 12. All right. And that was a 13 target number. So 2 hits. And this guy's going to move in the direction of the 10-sided dice, not in the direction that he's pointed. So close to the asteroid, but not enough. And then I'm going to change the heading so it matches. And there he is after shooting. So he's fine. All right, so I'm going to take care of this bugger right here. And I just rolled 3 actions, 3 successes. So he has 3 actions. So he's very close to that guy. I think he's got a shield damage. I'll check the sheet. Yeah, he does. He's got a shield damage. So, all right. I'm going to do, with those 3 actions, I'm going to make a maneuver. I think I might try that hacking stuff again. Yeah, see now, if I do that, that's going to put me right in a crash zone. And if I turn him this way, it's going to remove the arc of fire. So, fire with 1 action, because I'm still in his, he's still in my front arc, so I'm just going to fire. He has 3 dice. I'm going to try to take the advantage over him. So that's another action. That's 2 actions. And that'll give me 4 dice. And now, range to him. Oops. So 3. So that's 5s. I can do this. I can do this. 5s on 4 dice. See how many hits? Okay, a 10. A 2, and a 3. All right, so that's 1 hit. 2 hits. So 3 hits all together. All right, 3 hits. Now let's see if he defends. A 10 and a 12. He takes out my 10. So that is 1 hit on him. 1 shield. He rolled a 10. Took out my 10. So that leaves him with 1 shield damage. Let me see now. I am going to I'm gonna continue to move the mech, of course. He's at speed 2, so he has 3 dice. He only has 1 power, so I don't want to use up that power. I need that power to be on still. So 3 dice. He's on speed 2. So that's target number of 5. Let me just get my 3 dice. See how many actions he gets on 5. So a 9, a 6, and a 2. 3 actions. So I'm going to be able to give him 3 actions with those 3 successes. So 2 bonus actions and 1 standard action. So, all right. So he's on speed 2. Spend 1 action to speed this up to a 3. His heading and the way he is pointing is still good. And I move it right up to the second flight stand there. That's where he's docked. All right, so he's getting closer, but things are getting tight. There's an asteroid there. Now, I can clear it because the stem of the flight stand is right in the middle there. That's where I'm doing all my measurements from. So that's okay. I can go over the base. So I will have to do an adjustment turn to get him this way to go towards the gate. And here is the gate. So we're getting close. Not that close. All right. That's it. That's the end of the mech. shot. He has 2 dice. He does not gain advantage. Does not gain advantage. So 17 on 2 dice. Let's see if he gets a hit. That's not good. And he gets a 7 and a 10. A 17. The bastard. What a bastard. All right. And that is 1 shield damage. Let me see if I defend. That's right. I get 2 dice. Let's see if I defend. And we're going by the honor system here. A 9 and a 9. I do not defend. So that shield goes off. He had no shields. Only 5 hull. He's taking damage. Let us finish this turn. I might just end it right here after this turn. You know, I'm just going to get pummeled. And I have 2 fighters left, of course. So I could do damage to them. But I don't have a lot of time. I've been playing for a good number for a good amount of time now. So terrible. All right. So this time the range is 10, measuring from first stem to his stem. So 10, and that's 12 because of his armor, my freighter's armor. So 12. He has a 12, which is lucky shot. That's an extra success. Extra success because we're playing CL1. So that's 3 hits, guys. 3 hits. Did I do that for the last one? I don't think I did. Oh, no, he didn't roll a 12 anyway. Okay. All right, so he has 3 hits on my guy. Oh, man, he only has 5 hulls, so he is taking hull damage. He has 2 hull left. Oh! This is the final turn, regardless of what happens. Everything else is done. Okay, so I've cleaned up the other markers. All right, so my mech, first things first, I'm going to take his actions, see how many actions I can give him. He has 3 dice. He still hasn't regained that power, so let's see if I can give him more actions. 3, so 3 plus 3 is 6. I add his M stat to his speed. His M stat is 3, his speed is 3, so it's 6. That's my target number on 3 dice. Come on, roll as many 6s as possible. A 5 and a 2, that gives me a 6. Yeah, it's a 7 and a 7, so 14, so 2 successes. He's been rolling really low. So first things first, I'm going to increase his speed to 4. Now, this is going to be tricky. I think I can do it. And get this bugger for his second action. Move him right there. And I haven't moved him, like giving him a 30-degree turn or anything, so his heading is matching his direction. But here we might have a problem. This ship is going to move with him because, look at that. Look how, now it's the stems that count, not the ship itself. It's the stem, but that stem is going to come very close to that asteroid. And that could be bad news for me. There's another view of that asteroid. I'm really getting close. See that? All right, now again, it's not the ship that counts. It's the stem, the measurements between the stems, fortunately. All right, so 26 was the result. So 3 hits. Roughly, it's about 8. It was target number 9, rather. Sorry. So about 2 hits. Divided into that, rounding off. And they rolled a 5. There's a 5, so that knocks that out. And a 6. Oh, man. I only have an 11 and a 4. And what is that? I needed 9s. So, 2 hits. And correction, I didn't see, I'm getting tired. I'm starting to lose my wind here. We had an extra success. It's a +1 success throughout the whole game because we're playing command level 1. So obviously he had 1 hit which meant he had one hull point left, right? If he took 2 more hits, he'd blow up. Well, I have an extra success. I didn't count that. So he has no hull left. One more shot, he's done. So now he's gonna have to turn because, oh man, he might fly out the board. Let's see what he does. Yeah, I think that guy is he's a little tired, just like I am, this pilot. All right, now I want to try to give him a maneuver. He sees the danger. He's gonna go 30 degrees. I got to check his shield status. I think he has 1 shield left too. All right, so I gave him that maneuver. That was it. That's it. That's the action. But now he has to move in the direction of the dice. So he has speed 6. Oh, man. So close to the table edge. He's only about 2 inches from the table edge. I can't even lower his speed. So if we play one more turn, he's gonna be flying out the board. If he doesn't have enough successes, he'll go right out the board, and that's it. End of the game. All right, folks, let's do the enemy and then end the game. All right, so this bogey over here, that's the one we're doing. He scored a 3. Which, of course, that would activate a light ship. 2 to 10 activates a light ship. All right, we can ignore that. Hearts is a repair. So the bogey attempts to either restore shields or repair damaged systems. For purposes of this game, I'm just using the hull as part of the system. Okay, they probably mean other systems, but I'm going to use the hull. So even number, it's a shield he restores. Odd number, it's a hull. Since his hull is not damaged, the odd number is really not going to do anything. It's going to be the shield. So he needs an even number. We're going to flip that, and he gets a 6, which is an even number. This is the card that counts for the movement and everything else. This card is just telling me that he repairs a shield and gets a shield back. So now he has 1 shield, 2 hull. 9 puts him right there. Oh, man. And he's at speed 9. All right, so he went out of the field of view. Sorry. Yeah, so there he is. He's like they've surrounded the freighter. In another turn, I think they would have clobbered me. I think they would have destroyed the freighter. It only has 2 hull points left. So give it 3 hits, it's done, and the mech would be damaged as well. That gate is completely shut anyway. All of turn 8, which would start now, that gate would be shut. But I'm going to end it here, guys. I'm pretty exhausted. It's a great game, though. It is a lot of fun. And let's just go to the post-game talk for just a few seconds, and that's it. Hi guys, well, sorry if we couldn't continue at least another couple of turns. I normally play 6 rounds or 6 turns depending on the game, right? Unfortunately, health issues just I just don't have the stamina to continue. But it's a fun game, it really is. And one of the things that's very interesting about this game is that it's very in-depth. You're gonna feel that right away. It does mimic the like space flight kind of nicely, especially with this thing where your ships move, where your heading is not necessarily where the ship is pointing. That's very interesting. And so, yeah, you can literally fly your ships off the board. So one of the things we've learned now with this particular game that I was playing is command level 1 has a very different feel to it, because being that it's starfighters and things like that, mechs, these ships have a very limited, it's a 90-degree cone arc of fire. So when they want to shoot stuff, and keep in mind I didn't use torpedoes or anything like that, it was stripped to the basics. When these ships fire, they're going to want to maneuver constantly to get themselves into the arc that they need. Okay, command level 2 is going to be different. We're going to do that next with the next scenario. We're going to try all the different command levels so that we can see, feel the difference between the different command levels. In command level 2, think Millennium Falcon, those kinds of ships, right? They're larger, and depending on their mass 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be either closer to Millennium Falcon or closer to something a little smaller, right? But the point is that those larger ships in command level 2, their arcs of fire are going to be different depending on their mass. So that means they're going to be able to have a turret or something which fires in different directions. So you're not going to have those limitations. Once you get to command level 3, things are going to be big. They're going to be harder to maneuver, okay? And so they're going to be slow. I'm command level 2. I'm going to be making some ships for command level 2. So that's a new project. And that's it. We're going to explore command level 2 and continue to explore Horizon Wars Infinite Dark. Thank you, guys. And again, I'm sorry if towards the end of things, I started goofing up. But we'll see next time. All right, folks. Have a good one.